Hey everybody, welcome to the Weather Channel of J7409. Today, of course, is Tuesday. It's the 8th of July, 2021. What we're looking at here, of course, is a satellite map. Everybody's wondering what's going on right down in here. Well, nothing's going on for the next couple of days anyway. We just have this tropical wave of moisture that's moving along. In 5 days, we may get a low system to form. I'm going to tell you all about that. We're going to check out the National Hurricane Center. We've got severe weather coming up, and it looks like, boy, we've had some heat going on, folks, from the northern plains to the east coast. Well, it's going to continue today, and the wet pattern for the south central United States, well, it's going to continue also. So let's just get on with it. Before we get into all of the weather, Pamela Kelly, she's one of my subscribers. You guys know her, my regular folks. She sent me a poem yesterday, and it kind of touched me. I want to share this with everybody. It's called The Buzzard, Bat, and Bumblebee. The buzzard. If you put a buzzard in a pen that is 6 feet by 8 feet, and is entirely open at the top, the bird, in spite of its ability to fly, will be in he's going to be an absolute prisoner. Now, the reason that the buzzard does this, he always begins a flight from the ground with a run of 10 to 12 feet. Without space to run, as it is habitant, it will not even attempt to fly, but will remain a prisoner for life in that small jail with no top on it. How about that? I didn't know that. Did you guys know that? Now, let's come to the bat. The ordinary bat flies around at night, as we all know. A remarkable, nimble creature in the air. He cannot take off from a level place. If it is placed on the floor or flat ground, all it can do is shuffle about helplessly and no doubt painfully until it reaches some slight elevation from which it can throw itself into the air. Then at once it will take off like a flash. Then we have the bumblebee. Now, if you drop a bumblebee into an Oprah tumbler, it will be there until it dies, unless it's taken out. It never sees the means of escape at the top, but persists in trying to find some way out through the sides near the bottom. Now, it will seek a way where none exists until it completely destroys itself. And the moral to this story, folks, is us, people. In many ways, we are like the buzzard, the bat, and the bumblebee. We struggle about with all our problems and frustrations, never realizing that all we have to do is look up. That's the answer, the escape route, and the solution to any problem. Just look up. Sorrow looks back, worry looks around, but faith looks up. Live simply, live generously, care deeply, speak kindly, and trust in our Creator who loves us. Thank you, Pamela, for sending that in. Checking out severe weather for today. We do have severe thunderstorms that are expected and are already happening. The majority should happen later this afternoon into the evening tonight across parts of the northern high plains. Now, very large hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes. They're all going to be possible with these storms. And then we have a few storms with strong wind gusts, possibly over parts of the lower Ohio and lower Mississippi Valley vicinity. And some of those storms could bring some flooding. I'm going to tell you about that in a moment. So far as tornadoes, biggest threat up to 5% North Dakota and Montana. Outlying areas at a 2% chance when we come to that wind. Montana, North and South Dakota, panhandle of Nebraska, and a little bit of northeastern Colorado. You are up to a 15% for those damaging winds. and for significant hail. I told you, large hail. You see the black, it is significant. It should accompany these storms as they move through in Montana and also in North Dakota, so please be aware. Now, as we're over at the National Hurricane Center, folks, this is in 5 days. In 2 days, you're not going to see anything on this map, but within 5 days, we may have a low pressure that forms. Right now, it's just a tropical wave. It's not even a low pressure, but it is expected to develop into one over the southwestern Caribbean Sea during the next couple of days. Now, some gradual development will be possible thereafter, while this system moves slowly northwestward towards Central America. Regardless of the development, it could produce some heavy rain across northern Colombia and portions of Central America from Honduras southward later this week into the weekend. As you can see, in 2 days it's 0, 5 days, 30% chance. Good example. Now, the other day when everybody got all hyped up, the very first day I put this out, I said, look, I showed you the GFS. Well, that's changed like 9 times since then, okay? You can't go by the GFS. But I put that up to make sure everybody from Mexico border to Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and the state of Florida, and also up and down the eastern seaboard, you guys go ahead and prepare. Now, yes, I do think this will form, but I'm not going to say what it's going to be, where it's going to go. For those of you who have followed me for the last 5 or 6 years know how many times I've said, you do not know, it is too far out. You can't do that. Nobody on social media can predict where this thing is going and what it will be when it gets there now. It's way too early. But I do suggest everybody prepare along all of the Gulf Coast states and up and down the eastern seaboard. It is that time of the year, so please don't hesitate. Don't wait until one shows up looking like it may come to your house. This will form. I think it's going to run into ups and downs along its way. I think it does have a good chance of getting in the Gulf. I think it's going to run into sheer wind, dry air, in and out of it, in and out of it, and time will tell. We'll have to wait and see what happens to see where it goes and what it turns into. Now, over in the Eastern Pacific, disturbance number 1 looks kind of puny, don't it, folks? Well, X marks the spot. It's a low pressure about 700 miles south of the southern tip of Baja California. Now, it's producing limited shower and thunderstorm activity well west of the center, and no significant development is looking like it's going to happen because of the winds and dry air surrounding this environment. It should move very slow west-southwestward during the next couple of days, and there's 0 chance of it forming within the next 2 to 5 days. Now we'll come to disturbance number 2. Now, this is a broad trough of low pressure, and it is expected to form a couple of 100 miles south of the coast of southern Mexico, El Salvador, and Guatemala in a day or two. And all of these environmental conditions are favorable for some development thereafter, and a tropical depression could form by the end of the week as this system drifts northwestward and northward. Regardless of the development, it's going to probably produce heavy rainfall over portions of Central America, southern Mexico later this week into the weekend. 2 days, it shouldn't form. In 5 days, it's up to a 40% chance of formation. Here we have a look at the NDFD map. We haven't used this in a while, and it's pretty accurate. As you can see, it's going to go through today, right on through Thursday, the 12Z run. We'll let it loop on through as I let you know what is happening. The overall weather pattern, folks, is going to be rather slow to change through tomorrow and Thursday across most of the nation. Now, it's all because of a upper level ridge. That ridge is anchored over the plains, and it's going to keep a frontal boundary from making much eastern progress across the Intermountain West and the Rockies. And in the meantime, well, we do have a cold front, but it's going to make a slow progress southward across the Great Lakes and northeast through hopefully early Thursday, maybe it's going to start to cool up just a little bit. That's going to bring some relief to all this hot weather for these areas that we've been having that are going to last for a few more times of days that go by. Now, it will remain hot and humid with July-like conditions across the remainder of the central and eastern U.S., with highs running 5 to 15 degrees above average in many cases, and it's looking like the northern plains and portions of the northeast through Wednesday still going to be hot. Up and down the eastern seaboard, it is going to be hot. You may be in the upper 80s, you're going to feel like you're in the 90s. If you're in the 90s, you're going to feel like some places it's 100 degrees, so please be aware of this. Now, we got these additional rounds of heavy rain that are forecast for the portions of the central U.S., as you can see on the map, particularly the southern Arkansas to western Tennessee area, where 3 to 6 inches of rain are possible over the next 2 days. Now, this is going to increase the flash flood threat, because these thunderstorm cells, when they develop, they're going to train one after another, and that's going to give you a chance of getting significant amounts of rainfall due to all of the numerous showers and storms also expected across the Ohio Valley and extending eastward across the New England area, where 2 inches of rain may come about in the next couple of days. And I hope you guys get this rain. Now, we have something else. We have an elevated fire risk. These concerns are across much of the Intermountain West, and it's all because everything is a favorable combination. You got the gusty winds, you got the very low humidity levels, and you guys also have this ongoing severe drought. So elevated fire weather are for you guys. And that's a check of your weather today. Thank you so much for watching. Everything you do for me, I love you so very much. I hope each of you have a good day, a safe day, and a blessed day. And peace, love, and kindness to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for watching.